Hey, it's James, Father's Rights and Resources, hashtag how I got custody. I'm going to break down an overview of 3 points that are elements of a court case that you need to have. Now, I've done certain things about a couple things that you need and the mentality you need and stuff like that, but let's make this simple for people. And this is another thing, if you don't get this, you're screwed. So number one, you have to be able to look at this as a marathon. The beginning of your case, or you're a few months in, you're still looking at a marathon, a war, a long drawn out battle. Now, you want to get on the offensive at the beginning and fight tooth and nail, which 90% of you don't do. So you fail, and then you turn around and say, James, I did fight. No, you didn't. If you didn't fight the right way, you didn't fight. The other side is crucifying you in court, and you're playing Mr. Nice Guy and playing Mr. Nice Guy to the judge. You're not calling the mother anything bad, even though she's a mentally ill, psychotic, child-abusing, alienating, drug addict, suicidal maniac who's assaulted you and committed domestic violence. You never call the cops on her. You never do this. And you think you're going to win Boy Scout brownie points and get a ribbon for being nice in court in the middle of a war. Wake the hell up. You're in a war. And it's going to be a long, drawn-out marathon. If you hurry up and want to hurry up and get back in your kid's life, or hurry up and want to get immediate relief, you're going to torture yourself with that. And, you know, if you're not looking at it like, I don't know, somebody in prison who's going to break free. If you ever saw Shawshank Redemption, the dude who, got, broke free, he had to be extremely patient. He didn't give up. He was scratching out a little dent in the wall until he made a hole that allowed him to break free. He had to be patient, day by day, little by little. So you're in a long, drawn-out war. So that's number one. So you have to make up your mind. I know this is a marathon. I can't, even though you get on the offensive in the beginning, you may not get results right away. I didn't get anything for the first 2.5 months of my case, and then I jumped to 5 days a week visitation with my daughter. It was 4 hours Monday through Thursday and 8 hours on Saturday, but at least it was something, and it's probably better that I had consistent, regular time. My daughter saw me almost every day than if I had every other weekend. There would have been too much of a gap, and I might have been just like any other stranger running in and out of the mom's house. So you're in a long, drawn-out war. Now, if you get on the offensive, you may wear the other side down to want to settle and quit sooner, which is often what happens. Like half the time when a guy gets on the offensive from the beginning the right way, the case settles way sooner. If you do the little pussy coward, I'm going to dance around and tiptoe through the tulips and play Mr. Nice Guy, your case is going to drag out while she's bullying you and being a doormat and running over you, and you're taking it up the rear. Number two, number one, you have to have a mentality long term. Number two, you have to have balls and be willing to fight and go to war and go all out, and you have to have a warrior mentality. I'm going to go all out. I'm going to sacrifice my time. I'm going to make this my priority. I'm going to make this outside of food, water, and air. My court battle is my priority in life. I don't give a crap about hanging out with my buddies or doing this and that. My life with my kid is on the line. I have to have a warrior's mentality. When I get hurt and knocked down, I'm going to get right back up again, because I have the mentality this is going to be a long-term war. It's going to be a marathon. It's going to be a 15-round epic heavyweight bout that's going to go to the end like a Rocky movie or something. I have to hang in there for my kids. If I get a setback, it's going to be painful. It's going to hurt, but I'm thinking long-term, and I'm thinking warrior mentality. I'm fighting the war like the war that it is. So you got to grow a pair and be a warrior and not give a crap about what anybody thinks or anybody's feelings or whatever. Now, you don't go into the court like a bull in a china shop and start cussing everybody out, but you call a spade a spade. So that being said, so your mentality is just going to be a long, drawn-out war. Number two, really number two is actually the most important thing. You got to have the mentality of a warrior who's going to grow some balls, and I'm going to fight through pain, and I'm going to fight anyway, despite my feelings or anxiety or my fears. A soldier warrior mentality. You have to have a warrior mentality where you're willing to fight and play hardball. I mean, you're almost unstoppable when you do those two things. And then third is the technical thing. You have to, be willing to, or resourceful enough, or try and learn every weapon and tool that's available. If I go to court and lose, I'm doing a motion for reconsideration and trying it again. In a lot of states, you go in front of a commissioner or a magistrate or a friend of the court, and there's an appeal process to a regular judge. I'm going to do that. There's times when I've done stuff, I went in front of a commissioner, I lost, I did a motion for reconsideration, and maybe did another one. There was new evidence that came up, or the commissioner made a new stupid ruling. Then I go up to a judge. So I'm on the commissioner's level down here, and there's judge up here. Commissioner ruling, I lost, or part of it I didn't like. Let's say when I got 5 days a week. Actually, here's what happened to me. Went in front of the commissioner. They said, 0 visitation for you. We need to investigate you first, which was asinine backwards. So I went up to a judge, and a judge granted a continuance because the mom got an attorney. That was delayed. And then I went in front of a judge and got 5 days a week visitation. Now, back then, I didn't know about reconsideration, but what I would have done was ask the judge to reconsider, because she gave me 4 days a week and said, you could have the child 4 days, the daycare could have the child 4 days. Why does the daycare get equal rights to the father? They have absolutely no rights. If you're going to give me 4 days, give me 4 hours, give me 8 hours. Let me be the daycare for the mother. She lives 3 blocks away. She can come pick up the child, drop off the child. I have roommates. She has roommates. We can have an exchange through somebody else. I would have done a reconsideration. Another example of using everything available: depositions, interrogatories. You're stupid if you use interrogatories when you're able to do a deposition. If you can't afford a deposition, or you're a dumb, deaf mute like Helen Keller and can't do your own deposition, then do interrogatories. Outside of that, you can do a deposition. I didn't know about depositions in my case. Attorneys never told me. I would have used that as a weapon right away from the beginning. Reconsiderations, interlocutory. If you don't have a final decision, then make a corrupt decision. You went in front of a commissioner, did a reconsideration, went up to a judge. You can go up and do discretionary review or interlocutory motions. Doing discovery. When a guardian ad litem files a report, I counter the report and break it down, everything that's wrong with her. I'm attacking every single person when they go to court. The first attorney in my case, my original case, 2001, Mark B. as in boy, Livas, Livas. Mark Livas came on board, and he advertised as an attorney who specializes in high conflict cases. So the mother hired him. I kicked his ass a bunch of times, and then did a bar complaint, all kinds of stuff. Did a bar complaint on the first guardian ad litem. That's another thing. Recourses of bar complaints, Civil Rule 11 sanctions. If you don't know these things, then get a consult. Some of you guys are out there, I don't know what that thing is, and then you ask me about it, and it's a whole hour and a half lesson. Grow some freaking brains and some nuts and get a consult. The reason that I talk this harshly about it is like, I've told you guys stuff. You're saying, I still don't know how to do that. It's like if somebody gets on here and talks about astronomy for a minute and you want to take an astronomy class. I don't know that much about astronomy. Teach me. In the comments? I'm supposed to tell you in the comments, like, how to put on your own trial and stuff like that? An astronomy professor can tell you in the comments everything they know about astronomy. You need to take a class for a whole quarter or a semester. Come on, wake the hell up to reality. If you are lost and need help, you need somebody to mentor you or work with you. I do one-on-one consults to do that. I really shouldn't even have to explain this to you, because if you actually had the desire and the sense of urgency to get off your ass and fight for your kids, you would have already known, because all you got to do is go to my bio like anybody else and click on that and say, oh, James consults and this and that. You would already know. But I talk about it all the time, and guys are still hesitant because they're so dumb and so caught up in their own little world of, I'm in such pain. If you're caught up, if you're getting screwed in court, there should be a sense of urgency to find new answers in new ways. Every time early on in my case, somebody gave me some bad information, I went looking for another piece of information or another piece of information till I finally had a mentor who told me stuff, and I still had to search for answers. See, I don't understand why you guys don't have a sense of urgency to look for answers and you quit and give up. That's why I talk this harshly. Because I'm not here for the pussies who are just going to sit around and dilly-dally around and not really fight for their kids. So you want to use every recourse available. Long-term, house and balls, and use every weapon available.